All right, let's move into the last session of this the last afternoon. We are going to be discussing this panel, the 1210 panel. It's time for data-driven partnerships and outdoor water conservation. In this panel, we have Rachio, Synergy, and Molten-Niguel Water District. It'll be led by Tia Lebherz, and Tia has a decade of experience of working with environmental and water-focused nonprofits and municipal organizations managing outreach, advocacy, facilitation, coalition development, and communications. She currently sits on the board of directors of Wild Climate and Rogue Water Labs. That's a mouthful, Tia. Thank you very much. Please take it away.
I do my best to make it hard on you. I've truncated all of my speakers' bios, so it'll be great. I believe, Lindsay, are you sharing the screen for this one?
No.
There we go. Someone's sharing the screen. Huge kudos to all the folks running the tech on this. All right, so hello. Data-driven partnerships for outdoor water conservation. I'd like to introduce my distinguished colleagues and our panelists virtually. So first up is Danielle. Danielle leads Rachio's Smart Controller program. She's partnered with some of the most prominent and thought-leading water utilities across the nation. Collectively, programs managed by Danielle are responsible for distribution of more than 20,000 controllers nationwide. Lindsay Stuvik manages the Water Efficiency Department at Molten-Niguel Water District. She is one of my board members here at the California Water Efficiency Partnership and is the co-chair of the business development team for the Data Collaborative. So welcome, Lindsay. And Mr. Matthew Clark. Matt is actively finding and implementing solutions with Synergy to achieve California's clean energy and water energy nexus goals. He's been successful in bringing new, innovative, cost-effective approaches to utility programs that has led to over a decade of success with SoCalGas, SCE, and SDG&E, residential and commercial direct install programs. Next slide, please. All right, so a little bit about CalWEP, just so you guys can know why am I leading this session. So we are a statewide organization. Our goal is to maximize urban water use efficiency and conservation. I'm thrilled to be here because I think case studies highlight what's possible. So I think by telling this story of this amazing data-driven partnership, we can show what's scalable, what's possible, and what we hope to see across the state. Next slide. And CalWEP, we're all about finding that collaborative sweet spot. So I'm also lucky that both Rachio, Synergy, Molten-Niguel, all members of CalWEP. We have about over 200 members across the state. 75% of them are water agencies. So that's really who we're working mostly with. However, we get business, education, academia mixed in there as well. I'm really looking to encourage relationships, develop programs, and save water. Next slide. So just wanted to take a step back. We're talking about outdoor water conservation. I could do, we could have a whole conference on SB 606 and AB 1668, legislation that was passed in 2018 to make water conservation a way of life here in California. Water providers are essentially getting water budgets that are made up of indoor residential use, outdoor residential use, CII landscape, and water loss. Next slide. And an integral part of that is this outdoor residential water use piece. And so today we're going to be talking specifically about outdoor water use. Next slide. So just taking even a further step back, let's look nationally. It's estimated that about 50% of residential water use is used outdoors. So when we're thinking about where are there opportunities for us to even grow our efficiency programs, we're really looking a lot at this outdoor water use issue. In California alone, you can see that water use can double over the summer. And that is largely due to irrigation happening across the state as people keep their turf and gardens hydrated. Next slide. So what we're seeing is a lot of people, a lot of agencies expanding outdoor water proven water saving programs. So, you know, we have traditional rebates, of course, across the state, qualified water efficient landscaper trainings. And what we're really starting to see is this outgrowth of direct distribution and direct installation campaigns and programs like the one we're going to be talking about today. And so we're thrilled to be working with Rachio, with Synergy, with Moulton to scale up these programs statewide. And I will pass it over to the wonderful Lindsay Stuvik to talk through what Moulton has done to drive these partnerships and save water outdoors. Lindsay.
Awesome. Thank you, Tia. So as she mentioned, my name is Lindsay Stuvik. I manage the water efficiency department at Moulton Nagel. And today I'll be talking to you about the current iteration of our direct installation smart timer program. If I can go to the next slide, please. So just a little bit about Moulton. We serve 6 cities in South Orange County, providing water, wastewater, and recycled water to those customers. We have a water budget-based rate structure, which actually helps us provide incentives to our residential and commercial customers to use water efficiently. We consider ourselves a data-driven utility. Obviously, we're involved in the Data Summit, but we use data really to drive decision-making, and that permeates all the way down to the programming development level. We are early adopters of tech and open resource tools. As you'll see, I kind of have a data art gallery of all the data visualization tools our really talented data team has put together. To the right, you'll see that is our ET over service area map. So you can see our 1 kilometer resolution evapotranspiration map that they put together. And we are one of the founding agencies of the California Data Collaborative and very supportive of the effort to see more data in water. So next slide, please. So one of the things that we did back in 2016 after the drought ended was to take a look and see what can we do to really create programming that will help our customers be more water efficient. So we worked with the University of California, Riverside, and did an evaluation of our programming as well as a survey across our service area. And we really found that the greatest opportunity for water efficiency is outdoors, as Tia mentioned. But also throughout this survey, we realized that there was really a low awareness and low adoption of outdoor rebates. You know, we've done a great job as an industry of really promoting toilets and a lot of indoor rebates. But what we found in our survey was really reflective of what we anticipated, which is that, you know, not many folks know about outdoor rebates. Part of our study also revealed that smart timers have the most potential to save water, and that customers would be actually interested in participating, but they want it to be easy. A lot of times when you're thinking of smart timers, they may not have the capability of doing the installation themselves or doing the programming or just may need assistance with that programming, or they may not have the funds to purchase that device and wait several weeks for a rebate check. And so we wanted to develop a format that would be easy for customers and really maximize water savings. So next slide, please. So what we came up with, and this launched in May of 2017, was the first iteration of our Smart Timer program. We partnered with Rachio on that effort as well. We gave away up to 2 free Rachio Gen 2 timers. Customers had 2 options. They could do it themselves as an installation, or they could have a discounted professional installation done by our installer. We used an instant rebate model. Customers got the benefit that day if they got the installation or the devices delivered to them, no waiting around for a rebate check. And we targeted this program at our large lots and higher users so we can maximize the water savings that came from the program, but continued to offer a rebate so that customers still had choices and access to these types of devices. Next slide, please. And so one of the first things we wanted to tackle was low awareness of these types of programs. And so we really leveraged Rachio's marketing expertise and got away from the save water, save money messaging and went more with what they felt resonated with their customers after doing much market research, which is convenience and control. And so you can see on the left, we really focused on showing imagery where you can have control of your device at your fingertips. And then we also created an enhanced customer education campaign. We did 8 irrigation workshops every summer to just talk about smart timers and efficient watering and how best to upgrade your irrigation system so you could be efficient. And next slide, please. And so you'll see the results of that effort immediately after starting this type of campaign. We doubled, oftentimes tripled or even quadrupled the impact of this particular type of device. And, you know, initially we would say that before we started this program, we actually had higher adoption of indoor devices, but you can see there's really an inflection point March of 2017, where suddenly outdoor water efficiency devices were adopted at a much faster pace and much more often than indoor devices. So we're really excited to see that the marketing campaign was effective in achieving that goal of awareness and adoption. Next slide, please. So throughout the program, or the initial run through of the program, we developed a program evaluation tool. Again, we've got some very talented folks on staff. They create these great data visualization tools. This one in particular is our program evaluation tool. It is program agnostic and essentially takes a date range for installations and compares usage before to usage after. We also built in this really neat capability to segment within customers, so we can see how our DIY customers performed compared to our professional installation customers, just so we can try to segment and look at performance. Next slide, please. And so what you can see, this is just from a short segment of installations, but we only want to look at installations that have at least 12 months of post-installation data. When we did this nice snapshot of our customers, we saw that on average, our customers were saving 3.31 billing units per bill, which is huge savings when you look at annual and lifetime savings for these types of devices. And then we broke it down even further to see really where the performance is coming from. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So we did a nice comparison. We looked at the water savings, and we see with our DIY folks, they were saving 3 CCFs per bill. This is still really great numbers. But we saw with the professional installation that we saw a 33% or more increase in the water savings just because of that professional installation element. Next slide, please. And so using this kind of data and this feedback from these tools that are available to us, we actually decided to take it up a notch. We developed the Smart Timer Direct Installation Program because we realized that professional installation is going to lead to better outcomes. It still helps customers with that easy application, easy programming that they want. And we get a lot of bang for our buck. So we developed the Smart Timer program. It's like a 2.0, where customers now receive up to 2 free Gen 3 Rachio timers, which is super exciting because they have a flex scheduling built into that particular device that includes weather intelligence and allows customers to get away from more of a fixed program and more of a flex programming, which lets weather kind of input and dictate how the weather, or how the controller will run. We also offered free professional installation for each controller. We still employed that instant rebate model, and we were able to expand our programming because our new partnerships with Rachio and Synergy were so seamless that we were able to expand our current program to a contractor direct program. So now everybody in the service area has easy access to some type of free controller and or discounted installation of these devices. And like anybody, we as administrators of programs like easy admin too. And so part of our RFP was that we wanted a cloud-based data management system. No more dealing with tons of invoices in Excel format on a monthly basis. We wanted something that we could integrate with Rachio and Synergy, and all of us can sign into the cloud at any given point and see the same information, a single source of truth, from eligibility to applications to installations to paid and completed installations. So that's what we got. And that's because we're working with wonderful partners, Rachio and Synergy, and I will turn it over to them to describe a little bit more about the process and who they are.
Thank you, Lindsay. My name is Danielle, and I run the utility programs at Rachio. We always make sure our mission is at the forefront of our partnerships. Our mission is to make sustainable water use effortless and personally rewarding. Next slide. When we begin a partnership, we always try to understand the goals and expectations for the program. As some of our most impactful work happens when specific results are achieved, such as conservation, peak shaving, and water quality. Next slide. A partnership with Rachio is not only beneficial for the resident, but for the utility as well. Residents will have access to our products, which include our smart controller offered in 8-zone or 16-zone, and our newest product, Thrive, which is our natural lawn care treatment. Our utility partners who run a program with us receive discounts on our controllers, allowing for more controllers to be distributed, access to our insights, and the option to collaborate on a Rachio engagement. Next slide, please. Utility programs will always have a dedicated email and phone number provided to your residents. This ensures that any time a resident needs to contact our customer support, our support team knows the details of the program and can answer questions quickly and efficiently. Our customer support team is top-notch, and our product is best in class, which is backed up by our NPS score and thousands of customer reviews. Next slide, please. We understand that conservation teams look different across utilities. Some utilities have 10 people on a team, some don't have a conservation team at all. That's why we develop programs that are turnkey and accessible to all agencies. The goal of all programs is pretty standard: distribute controllers. However, based on the needs of the utility, the characteristics of the program can be very different. Some partners like Molten Miguel will offer free controllers plus free installation. We have some programs that offer cost share, and that cost share can be very different depending on the program. Some 40%, 50%, whatever you decide is the best fit. Some programs offer DIY with an optional pro install. It really comes down to what works best for the agency and for your residents. No matter what, a program with Rachio will have a dedicated landing page that allows residents to claim a controller, a login for the utility to access the Rachio portal, which will give you access to, or give you the ability to view controller redemptions in real time, and also Rachio Insights, which shows you at an anonymous level the controllers in your service area, which allows you actually to filter by program. Next slide, please. Rachio has been marketing our products for some time now. We know what works and what doesn't, and we want to pass that knowledge on to you while you're marketing your program. Every partner will have access to our marketing assets folder, making sure you have everything you need to market your program effectively. For example, videos, imagery, promotional copy, social media templates. If there is by chance something that you need that we don't have, just let us know, and our marketing team will be happy to work with you. Next slide, please. I spoke about this briefly a couple slides ago, our insights and engagements. So running a program is really fun. You put up a landing page, we market the program, and then we start seeing controllers being redeemed very quickly. However, once those controllers are distributed and installed, that's where we start seeing the magic. With insights, you can start looking for trends. When are people watering? What schedule are they on? Did they pick the right soil type? If you start seeing something that you want changed, you'd work with Rachio on an email engagement. The engagement comes from Rachio. We educate or ask your residents to make a change. For example, if you want your residents on a flex monthly schedule, but the majority of controllers based on insights are showing fixed schedule, we would send an email out to only those residents on a fixed schedule, educating them on the benefits of a flex monthly schedule. And then we provide them step-by-step instructions on how to make that change. You would then be able to see the impact of the engagement via insights. Next slide, please. The Molten Miguel Synergy program has been a really fun program to run. We typically see two types of programs at Rachio: a program where there's a pro install requirement, like the program with Molten Miguel, and then we have other programs where it's a DIY pro optional, which is also pretty popular. I'm going to actually show you how the program with Molten Miguel and Synergy is set up, as I feel like this program does a really good job showcasing all the features that are available for any program. Next slide, please. So currently we do have utility programs running coast to coast with partners with varying goals. My job is to make sure we execute the programs that help our partners achieve their objectives. And because our team has created a platform that is pretty flexible, we can typically create a website experience to fit the goals of our partners. Most of our programs start with a customized branded landing page, as you can see on the left-hand side here, that communicates the program offering. We include a controller countdown to encourage urgency. We want to make sure when residents come to this page, they claim right away. On the right-hand side would be the bottom half of the page, which includes the product features and benefits, and we also link to an FAQ page, which is created specifically for your program. Next slide. Once someone clicks the Claim My Rachio controller, they will be taken to an eligibility page. We do encourage an eligibility page to make sure the only people taking advantage of the amazing offer are the eligible residents in your service area. We verify eligibility by checking against the water account number. Now, the eligibility criteria can be different from agency to agency. For example, some criteria might include only residents can apply if they're in good standing. They must have lived at their home for at least 5 years. Maybe they haven't applied for a rebate in 3 years. However you determine the eligibility criteria, you would simply send Rachio a list of eligible water account numbers that fit that criteria. We upload those account numbers to our database. So when the residents come to the website and they enter in their account number to redeem, the system first checks against what we have as eligible water account numbers. And if the resident's account number is in our system, they get to proceed to the next step. With access to the Rachio portal, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, you would actually be able to see all of the account numbers that you provided us uploaded into the system. And what's fantastic is once the program launches, the Rachio portal is also where you can track redemptions in real time by account number. With Molten Miguel, as we mentioned earlier, they actually had 2 programs running at the same time, meaning they had 2 eligibility lists. Our team has set it up so if someone comes to their direct installation program, they enter in their account number, and if that account number is not eligible for their first program, the system automatically directs that customer to the other program that they are eligible for. Next slide, please. Once someone completes the eligibility verification step, they are taken to the claim step. This is where the resident will provide a little bit more information on what they actually need for their installation. Do they need an 8-zone or 16-zone? Is their controller indoors or outdoors? As that will actually determine if they need an outdoor enclosure. And since this program is with a pro, with Synergy, this information is very helpful for the installation prep. Next slide, please. Having a program with a pro installation is fantastic, not only because it's a 100% installation guarantee, but also because the pro can do on-site training. However, due to COVID this year, we needed to change things up a bit to keep up with the new protocol. So to ensure residents are aware and educated about Rachio schedules and weather intelligence, we actually included 2 short videos right in the redemption process for them to view prior to the installation. There's actually a checkbox included asking residents to check the box after they watch the videos. Each program typically has short terms and conditions for the resident to agree to. For example, the resident must have an irrigation system, they must be present during installation, they must be the property owner. Whatever terms you want the resident to agree to, we can actually include those terms right on this page, again, using a checkbox for the resident to check those terms. In both cases where there's a checkbox, the resident actually cannot move forward to the next step unless both checkboxes are checked. One of the terms Molten Miguel has is that a resident must fill out the W-9 prior to the installation. We were recently able to incorporate that W-9 right in the redemption process. This creates a much easier redemption process for the resident as they no longer need to go to a different site to fill in the data. And this information is actually sent directly to Molten Miguel. If a partner does decide to do a cost share program, we actually incorporate a page right after this page where the resident would pay their portion of the controller right on the site. And then if a program is a DIY program and the resident, then the resident would put their shipping information in as well, and then the controllers just shipped directly to their home. Next slide, please. When running a program with a pro installation is required, there are actually a few ways that we connect the resident with the pro. For this program, we decided on incorporating the pro schedule right in the redemption process. Next slide, please. So scheduling is extremely easy. The resident simply selects the type of installation that they're going to need based on the number of zones in their yard. Once they select the type of appointment they need, they're actually presented a calendar of available times that is coming directly from Synergy's calendar. Once they select their booking date and click continue, they are presented a confirmation page that finalizes the booking. Next slide, please. The scheduling piece is the final step in the redemption process. Once they confirm their appointment, they will receive 2 emails. The first email is a confirmation email. They actually completed the process and redeemed their controller with instructions on how to get ready prior to the appointment. Some of those steps include downloading the app, make sure they know their Wi-Fi password. We actually even include the video links again, so they have those handy if any questions come up. The second email is the appointment confirmation, reminding them of their upcoming appointment time and date. At the same time, Synergy actually also receives an email informing them of the new appointment where they can actually reach out to the customer a few days before the appointment to confirm and make sure everything is ready to go. Next slide, please. And this is where I actually will pass it off to Matt from Synergy to explain Synergy's process.
Thanks, and I'll just pop in really fast and say that we are seeing some questions come in via the Q&A, so keep sending them that way and we will answer questions at the end.
Hello, thank you everyone. And Danielle, thank you for that introduction. Lindsay, and also Tia. It's great to be with you all today. My name is Matthew Clark. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Synergy Companies, and we're the installation contractor of this wonderful effort. Now, in my bio, it was made clear that I primarily work with the electric and natural gas industries in the state of California, and it wasn't until 2016 that Synergy Companies entered the water space. And it was through the Water Energy Nexus effort between SoCalGas, Southern California Edison, and Irvine Ranch Water District. And as you know, it takes energy to move water, especially in Southern California. And when you save water, not only do you save water, you also save electricity and natural gas, because it takes about 60% of the electricity generated in the state is from natural gas. So with that little introduction of Synergy into the water space, we're happy to be here. We've been around for nearly 40 years, and we have close to 400 employees, and we service residential and small commercial and large commercial accounts throughout the state. And we're in about 100 businesses and residences on a daily basis. We're currently following COVID-19 protocols, and customers, for the most part, depending on the agency or utility, allow us to provide services to their homes and businesses at this time. But that does vary by agency and by utility. Next slide, please. So I'm pleased to present a solution to water efficiency today. This is our data-driven partnership for outdoor water conservation with Moulton Niguel Water District and Rachio. Moulton Niguel is a progressive water district, and because of the data that they've been collecting over the years on their irrigation timer program, they've determined that the avoided cost to secure water exceeds the amount of water, exceeds the cost to actually install an irrigation timer. So the cost per acre foot to install an irrigation timer is less than it is to purchase water and transport it to their agency. Also Rachio, they're the innovative smart irrigation controller manufacturer. We love installing the Rachio product. Customers love it. They're constantly coming up with new and better ways for their product to interface with customers. And also, as an installer of many different products, we like the Rachio because it has a very high rate of success. So we have very little callbacks, and the product is very robust. And then finally, Synergy, we are the installer. And not only do we install smart irrigation controllers, we have the licenses and the skills and the staff to potentially and to build the homes in which we are installing this irrigation device. And so our services and our capacity go above and beyond the installation of smart irrigation controllers. Next slide, please. So when we set out to do this program, we like to keep in mind our final destination, and we like to call that the program vision. And we think about this vision on a daily basis. It guides our thinking as we service customers and as we carry out this program as an implementer. And our vision is to work together to improve outdoor water conservation in a cost-effective way through the professional installation of smart irrigation controllers with the highest levels of customer satisfaction and real-time data reporting. That's the vision that you can look forward to with Synergy and Rachio as we implement outdoor irrigation programs for you currently and potentially in the future. Next slide, please. So we find it very necessary to make outdoor irrigation programs easy for you. We understand that depending on your agency, you've got a lot on your plate, and you may not have the time and resources to implement a program like this, even if you wanted to. And so what we do is we make the program easy for you. And we have 5 key components that make that possible. And I will speak to each of these. Next slide, please. First, it requires a fully staffed IT department with IT director. This talented staff at Synergy and at Rachio, we make your dreams a reality. Now, I can speak to Synergy's IT department. Our IT director, he currently is a patent holder for field data capture tools, and we've leveraged his knowledge and expertise to design a paperless data capture tool for Multi-Miguel Water District, which captures the data seamlessly and without friction, and then reports it real time to the agency. Next slide, please. To make the program easy, it also requires an electronic audit tool. And Synergy uses an iOS audit tool for outdoor irrigation programs. And we customize the tool to meet your demands. Next slide, please. So the audit tool form, think of it as a way to collect the data that you want. And here is a sample data form that we use. And just wanted to point out on this slide on the left side, here are some of the custom data points: serial numbers, the solenoid condition, and the sprinkler type. Serial numbers are key. Danielle presented the Insights platform that's offered by Rachio. The serial number is very important for that to work as it should. And so we collect that information. We also have the ability to capture a photo of anything that you'd like. For this particular program, we capture a photo of the irrigation controller post-installation with the serial number data. So just in case, if the technician or the installer transposes a digit on that long serial number, we can reference the photo to get the correct serial number if need be. Now, the advantage of having an in-house IT director with a fully staffed IT department is you can see that yellow column to the right, the data migration, is they're able to write scripts that securely transfer the data from the form once the form is submitted, and that data seamlessly flows into the cloud-based data management system. And as a security protocol of the technician, when they hit the submit button, that form and all the customer's data leaves the technician's iPad, so they no longer have access to it, and it travels through a secure channel. This is one of the ways that we demonstrate that at Synergy Companies, we take information security very seriously, and we follow the highest standards. Next slide, please. So also, to make a program easy, it requires real-time cloud-based data management systems. And through our efforts bringing to life Multi-Miguel Water District's dream to not have to sort through multiple spreadsheets, make phone calls, sort through emails, or even write emails to find out what's going on with their program, Rachio and Synergy developed a real-time cloud-based data management system, which serves as that single source of data and truth. And it provides some of these data points: enrollment, fulfillment, installation, invoicing, customer service, and post-inspection data. And for example, if it's the end of the day and you wonder, hey, how many smart irrigation controllers were installed today? You can simply pull up your PC or your mobile device and you can take a look. You don't need to email Danielle or me to find that information out. It's right at your fingertips. And then the data can also be exported and provided to your data analytics team so that you may do whatever you'd like with the data. The data is contractually yours, and you are the owners of it. And while we're hosting the data, we ensure that it is IT secured with the highest levels of encryption. Next slide, please. What makes Synergy stand out is we have elite installers. So we are your boots on the ground. We not only do we install the product, also keep in mind that we are interfacing with your customer. And so we are an extension of you, and we understand that and we take that seriously. It is our aim to provide a delightful experience with every time we visit or interact with your customers. Not only are we elite in the way that we treat customers, our motto is we treat people right, we also are elite in our installation proficiency. You can see we have a list of current and active CSLB licenses. We have a C2 insulation, a C10 electrical, C17 windows, C20 heating and air, C36 plumbing, C46 solar, asbestos abatement, and we're also a general building contractor. So you can rest assured that if anything goes wrong with the installation of a smart irrigation controller, we have you covered. We have the licenses necessary to build the home in which we're doing the service. We also have a current and active Department of Industrial Relations number, and we are prevailing wage certified for doing certified payroll. So we comply in that regard as well. Next slide, please. And finally, we offer world-class customer support. We understand how important your customers are. We have a no-hassle 1-year warranty on labor and a 3-year warranty on material to be free from manufacturer defects. And no matter how big or how small the warranty call or service required, Synergy resolves all issues as soon as possible. And most issues are resolved the same day or 24 hours after reported. We also have a professional, dedicated, multilingual customer service support system to schedule appointments and resolve customer concerns. Nosotros hablamos español. All of our agents are multilingual, speaking at least Spanish and English. And then we provide a comprehensive education at the time of program offering. We don't want the experience to be transactional, where we're in and out. Rather, we try to make it transformational, where the customer becomes a more wise and knowledgeable steward of the product installed, and also ways that they can conserve water and yet achieve a beautiful yard. Next slide. And we feel that these programs change the world, and never doubt that a few thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has, as stated by Margaret Mead. And it is our hope that that some of you that have heard this, that are thinking about your own outdoor irrigation program, that you will work with Synergy and Rachio to spring to life your very own outdoor irrigation program that is easy, cost-effective, and one that customers will love. Thank you for your time. I give the time back to the moderator.
I will take that time. Thank you, Matt. And thank you to all of our panelists. We have a few questions, so you guys can turn on your cameras, our favorite thing that we practiced. And I'm actually, so we got a question, which I feel like we often get in this space, which is about hurdles. So what hurdles do you have to overcome in bringing instant rebate model like this to general management, as opposed to the traditional rebate models that require pre and post inspection, mail-in rebate, credit to a customer water bill? This person's looking for advice for utility managers. And while I think it would make sense to pass it to Lindsay, because you are a utility manager, I'm actually wondering if Danielle can field this question, because I've seen, you know, you just, well, one, Lindsay, you have June, it's not fair.
Yeah,
and an excellent board. But Danielle, just kind of, you know, I know you've worked with a ton of different agencies across the nation. What have you found to be compelling? What works for them to really get their management on board?
Honestly, it's a time savings. You know, there's no more paperwork. With the portal, you're actually able to export all the data in the portal. So you get to see all the account numbers coming through, check them against internal information. But you no longer have to, message out, hey, we have a rebate, go out and buy whatever you want to buy, take a photo of the installation, send us a receipt, you'll get your check or credit on your bill 6 to 8 weeks later. It's not fun for the utility because they don't want to be checking everything off and making, oh, did they send it in? I don't know, did it get lost? And then also for your resident, they have to wait 6 to 8 weeks. This is just immediate, it's less paperwork, and a lot less time as well.
Lindsay, I'll fact check that with you. Is that?
Yeah, it certainly is time saving. I will echo that. And then if you're just in the early stages of trying to develop a program like this and working with your board or upper management, I would say the best thing to do is do your homework, get the data. That's the first thing that Moulton did is we did a huge survey and we partnered with UC Riverside, very credible partners to help us, evaluate the data, like what is best for your agency and best for your customers. And who knows, maybe doing that kind of research, you'll find something else. But I know for us, this is what worked. And it was nice to be able to point to a very comprehensive study that had very clear findings to say, hey, this is what customers want. And, and if that's something that that you could do in your service area, I think you would be very successful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'll say on the state level for CalWEP, we take your data and your studies, Lindsay, that you guys have done at Moulton to help kind of, share that out as well, right? We can be leveraging similar organizations and agencies' data across the state and across the nation now that we have kind of a lot of people who are doing this program, right? We can start to normalize it. Another question came in, and I know we're 1 minute over time, but I do want to take this one. It is a question that says, I've heard about issues with connectivity to communicate with the controllers when you are going around your yard when working on an irrigation system. What do the installers do to solve this issue of poor connectivity at individual sites?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so when referencing connectivity, they're speaking to the Wi-Fi signal at the customer's home. And so what we do is the technician connects to the Wi-Fi signal as part of the installation. And when they get out to the location where the irrigation timer is to be installed, they check the signal. And if it's not strong enough, then what can be done is the customer can increase that signal through the purchase of a Wi-Fi extender. Some programs will offer that. And if it does have the signal required, then they proceed with the installation.
Great. Yeah. I know a lot of folks have been boosting their Wi-Fi signals as they work from home now. So hopefully it's helping with some of that as well. So Scott, I believe we're over time. I just saw you unmute yourself and I feel like it's the moderator coming close to me. But I will say thank you, Lindsay, Danielle, and Matt, for just a great representation of what this partnership is, how it's data driven, and how it's saving incredible amounts of water, and also, as Matt touched on, engaging customers more closely, more personally, building better relationships across the board. So thank you, and I will pass it back to Scott.
Wonderful, Tia. Thank you very much. And great job, you guys. That was fantastic. Tia, Lindsay, Danielle, Matt, fantastic. Thank you. And Danielle, I'll let you know, I have had no connectivity issues with my Ratio at home. So that's been fantastic. But I have had it with my Wi-Fi working on things like Zoom. So that's why I'm here at the office today. But anyway, great panel. Thank you again very much. So we are moving into a short break. We're going to cut it a little bit short. We were planning to go about 10 minutes, but we did go a bit over time there. So we're going to reconvene here in about 6 minutes. Before we do break, I just want to say we have three great panels coming up this afternoon, all led by our good buddy Drew Atwater. It's data-driven regulatory compliance, financing innovations and distributed infrastructure. And the first one of the three is financial resiliency panel, which Drew will be moderating. Once again, one quick thank you to our sponsors. As I sort of sign off from my role here today, I want to thank again the Moulton Niguel Water District, fantastic on both sides of the equation, as I mentioned earlier, Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, and our gold sponsors, Aquametric, BioLargo, Ratio, and Synergy Companies, Our silver sponsors, BBK and Flume. Our bronze sponsors, Geosyntec, Mazarine Ventures, PFM, and RDN. You guys, this has been a fantastic experience. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. For the afternoon, I'm going to turn it over to Drew Atwater to take us to the finish line. Once again, thank you and enjoy the break. See you back here at 1 o'clock. Yes, that's the time. All right. Bye-bye.